What's up, kings and queens? It's Dan and Luke from Daft Previews. Here to preview round 12 of the NRL. It is Indigenous round, a very special time of the year. We'll be previewing that in depth, giving you all of our best bets. We'll do a quick recap on last week. As expected, there were a few upsets, which always seem to happen. But Luke, I guess the biggest upset of the round just happened to be in NRL fantasy, where yeah, I was about. You went down swinging, I guess, but I gave you a line of 200 points. I thought you would wallop this bloke by 200.
So did I.
What was it? What was the score in that one? Just
858 to 913.
Gee, so he set a PB. What was his PB prior to that? Like 800?
Probably 700.
So, look, we're bringing in a special guest so you guys can have it out, special in many ways. But Lucky, welcome, mate. It's good to have you.
Lucky.
Oh, shit. Your audio is fucked, son.
I've muted him. There you go. This is the guy I fucking lost to. He can't get his mic working in a fantasy team. What's he got in his pocket?
What is this? Does it say I can't breathe? Is it a speech? Oh, my God. I hope I never lose to him. What does that say?
Oh, he got the score. He wrote the score down. Oh, my God. Wow. He's fucked. How?
So that's who you lost to.
Yeah, I've lost to that. It wasn't good.
So, look, you probably have it up now, but what was the difference? How did he beat you? Like, I got my prediction completely wrong in this one, but what happened exactly?
Well, just like the Roosters, my fucking fantasy team shit the bed with them players. Tedesco 15, Manu 27, Brandon Smith 40. Lockie's gone the great approach of not picking any Roosters players, so that was the key. It definitely seemed to work. So fair play to him.
Yeah, he had what did Lockie have? He had a monstrous performance from Walsh, Alamotti. He was very strong. He was delicious on the weekend. Jerome Hughes, he had Cam Murray not underperformed, but average game from him. Pretty much average across the park. His second rollers didn't do well. I think you really just shit the bed having a look at your team, to be honest.
Yeah, just underperformance.
Hosking, he got injured. So
KO'd. Yeah, he got his HIA. Brandon Smith came off the bench, but that was a fucking... I'm surprised at 40, how bad the Roosters played.
Manu sucked. Teddy sucked. Teddy played all 80 minutes and absolutely sucked.
But
like Heelan Lukey, which was he's a big move though. He's a great player.
Brought him in a couple of weeks ago and he killed it. Even for Feeder running the length of the field. Oof.
Yeah.
But still not enough, obviously. I've got to cop the loss, obviously, but it's a shame your mic's not working, Lockie.
Yeah, you can't say anything, which is pretty unfortunate for all of us.
But I'm glad you wrote it down.
You should frame it, Lucky, and put it in your calendar when you verse me next. So let's see how you go. If you have a week like that, you'll beat me for sure. But lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place or some shit like that. So consider yourself lucky. Luke, any last words for Luke before we set him free into the abyss?
Nah, it's good. Lucky win, mate. Well done.
Well played. All right, you can rip him in the chat, Lucky. Thanks for coming, bros. All right. I can't believe you lost to him. Actually, I can't believe you lost to him. I just can't believe all the rubbish we spoke prior to you losing to him. But what can you do?
Sometimes when you get PBs, mate, you can't. Like it's a PB for him, so I'm happy for him. He just for those of you wondering, 2 weeks ago he scored about 600 points. So he's literally he's on a great trajectory at the moment.
Mate, it's all about peaking at the right time, and he peaked in time for you.
Yeah,
so you'll probably get dusted up again this week, but he's got you, mate. He's in your head, rent free at the moment. So
he is.
Speaking of rent free, what do we got? Quick recap on last week. Melbourne beat the Broncos. The refs fucked us. I thought we had a great chance in that game. I think the key takeout, apart from the refs fucking up, that's going to happen in any game. Obviously, I'm in a lot of Broncos groups. They think there's an agenda out against the Broncos. I don't believe that for a second. Like, The referees just fuck up sometimes.
Yes.
And I think that's what's happened. And we just happen to be in the receiving end of it in a game that I thought we were up for. I think one thing to take out of this game for me is that Melbourne actually still aren't playing their best. They weren't that great, to be honest. They scored 24 points. We were down a man for 20 minutes of that game, and they only put 24 on us at home.
Yeah, I don't think the Storm are still like that great, to be honest.
No, their forward pack is still ass. We were pulling through tackles, making a lot of meters. We just got, we're on the end of some rough calls, and they had some freakish, tries. So, yeah, I still put the Storm in probably 5th or 6th best team in the comp right now if I had to make up power rankings. Broncos should be proud of what they did last week, but bigger test this week. We know Reno up against Penrith, but we'll see. We expected the Warriors to pump the Dogs in a low-scoring affair, and that happened. Penrith v Roosters 48-4. We did expect the Roosters to score fuck all points, but I was not expecting Penrith to pile on 48. We had a best bet of going unders here. Any surprises?
I had the line.
You
and
had the
unders.
line and unders.
Yeah,
I just had the unders.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, but then for weeks I've been saying at some point it's going to click. I'm not.
Do you think it clicks week back to back though? Because did you guys do Manly and Canberra? Was that back to back? Those shellackings?
No, they were apart.
Okay.
Manly was after. Sorry, Canberra was after. Yeah, but I think so. I think they're starting to get a little bit of confidence about them, but
they're starting to get a little bit.
I liked being under the radar.
Yeah,
I like the South side. I still think the South team are rated strongest, even though we were up by 8 minutes to go. But
yeah, I think Penrith putting those points on just let everyone know. Don't forget about me, motherfuckers. So, Rabbits Tigers. I didn't touch this game purely because the line was so big, but I knew that the Rabbitohs could pile points on, but those points didn't come. 20-0 last week. A lot of people got cooked in this game, especially those doing multis, because a lot of them were about, Rabbitohs scoring X amount of points and having all these try scorers, but that didn't happen. If you were confident taking the line, you would. But did you have a bet on that game?
No. Before that, the two I had prior, I had the overs in the Melbourne Broncos game. Again, disallowed tries and fuck-ups cost that one. And then I had the Warriors covering the line against the Dogs. But,
yeah. What else do we have? Cowboys Dragons 42-22. Shit. Your boys, the Cowboys, turned it on. I thought the Dragons would get up for it, being it's Ben Hunt's 300th game. Ben Hunt's 300th game. But they fucking did it. Coach is gone. It's a shit club, but to be honest, I'm not overly
shambles.
Surprised. Yeah.
There was a point there where I think I was talking about, I think on 360, that show with clean hosts and no drama. I think they made a line break. The Cowboys point. Ben Hunt went from across the field to make the tackle and ran and made another tackle. I'm like, that club's literally hanging on by him trying at the moment. So there's no shocks.
Yeah, they got to release him. Let him go somewhere else. Send him to Brisbane and play at 9. Fuck, that'd be great. What else do we have? Canberra versus the Eels. I was leaning towards Canberra's way, but I fucking took them -1.5 in the first half, and it was a tied game at halftime, so that didn't go too well for me. Did you ever bet on that Canberra game?
Nope.
No? You had nothing. Here's one that was a bit unexpected, but in hindsight, it makes a bit of sense to me. But Knights 46, the Titans 26. Fucking Kalen Ponga comes out. He had the most try assists on the weekend. Juicy line break. It's too early to say he's back, but very impressive because there was a bit of a Ponga curse prior to that game. I don't know what the fuck happened. The Titans just got opened up. This is last year's Titans. That's not what we've been seeing this year. So, did you ever bet on that Knights game?
Knights plus half a point, second half handicap. So, predicted Titans to shit the bed second half, which they're good for, and they did. So,
absolutely. Then we had the Sharks versus Eagles. The line was 4.5. I think it closed at 5.5. But Sharks did cover that. Low scoring game, though. I thought the Sharks would pile on a lot more points than they did. I'd probably put the Sharks near around Melbourne, sitting around probably 4, 5, 6 in my power rankings in my mind. Not very impressive, I must say. Like Nico Hines still killed it in fantasy, but yeah, they took the foot off the pedal. I think they're looking a bit thin in the middle, missing a couple of key forwards, and it's noticeable. But Turbo did look a little bit better for Manly. He's probably up around 65% on the weekend.
I was going to say, there was one of the tries they scored where they just went wide and the winger, like, I can't remember if it was Ramian or someone, just burned him. Like, it was bad.
Yeah. I think Turbo's response to the shit game last week or the week prior, he just got more involved.
Yeah, taking hit-ups and stuff.
Yeah, he got more involved, but he's still limited. He just did more. It's crazy. He still pulls out like 180 meters. You know that? And he's fucked. Whereas Latrell only does 100 meters a week.
Latrell's very good at delegating work.
I'd hate to be bloody Alex Johnston. Fire, that guy's going to do so much work for Trell. But yeah, what were the big upsets that we saw last week?
I did have under 18.5 Manly in that one too. I did get that.
Oh, you did?
Manly had fucking dog shit in attack at the moment, so
yeah,
had to sweat it. They did have literally like 70% of the ball in the second half, and new resets on their line. But
yeah, I guess we didn't see massive upsets in terms of who won, but more so just the overall outcome of the game. To think the Rabbitohs game would only finish on 20 points. They've been lighting teams up. That was an interesting one. Even the Panthers total, that was interesting. Cowboys, Dragons, there's a lot of points for the Cowboys, whose attack has been clunky all year. The Knights got 72 points scored in that game, Knights versus Titans. The Knights team couldn't string together 3 tries in a game for like 4 weeks, all of a sudden. Whooshka. But look, once again, football's still excellent this year. Bloody excellent, I tell you. Every single game. It's got some entertaining value to it. Obviously, I'm gambling, so it's easy to be entertained, but we move on. You ready to get into this week?
Let's do it.
For all those watching and listening, Luke has, 9 bets this week?
9.
You got 9? Okay.
Comfortable 9. I've had a good week, so I've scaled it up again. We're going big.
And I've got 6 this week. I usually have 4.
Yeah, you've scaled up.
Scaling it up. Overall records, what are we at? I think I'm at 53.6 and you're at like 49.6 or something. We're getting there. We're getting back up there. It is Indigenous round, so keep that in mind. First, like a couple of things. It is Indigenous round, so a lot of those Indigenous boys tend to do something freakish this week.
Turn up.
But encourage you all to pick your favorite Indigenous players and whack them all in a try scorer multi because wild shit can happen. The other thing is that the weather's fucking brilliant this week. Great rugby league football. So you're going to be very confident man to pick unders. And I'm pretty sure Luke and I have a game to pick unders in. Well, let's get amongst it, shall we? Speaking of unders, let's get into the first game. It's the Brisbane Broncos versus the Penrith Panthers. I am not wearing my Broncos jersey this week. And it's, for 2 reasons. 1, I'm a bit of a coward. 2, I've been wearing this hoodie all day and I didn't feel like changing. So Luke's got his Penrith Panthers gear on. He's ready to rumble. I'm a bit anxious about it because I don't want Penrith to put, like, if you guys put a 40-point win on us, it's going to start feeling reminiscent of what happened last year. Top of the table, we're fucking getting work done. We started versing some proper competition. We got slapped, and then we started losing games that we should have won. So that's what I'm concerned about in this game. For the Broncos, Reynolds is out. Jock Madden is in. Jock Madden was awful when he played against South, and South towed us up. So, and for Penrith, no changes. So it's good for our fantasy team with Hosking. Hopefully he's back in it and starting and plays a full 80 minutes this week. I'll give us at least 60, Hosking. Odds-wise, you're looking at Penrith $1.37, Broncos $3.10. The line is 8.5 now. I think I told everyone in the Discord to get on Penrith. They're currently at 1.5, and it's moving. It moved pretty much a point to 1 or 2 points every single day. So And the news about Reynolds, everyone knew it was going to happen, so they started just dumping money on it, and it just grew and grew and grew. And I think by the time it gets to Thursday night, we can probably see this 9.5, 10.5. So, Luke, give me your plays, mate. What are you thinking?
Penrith minus
Don't be
8.5.
biased now. Come on,
not
mate.
biased, and Bronx under 14.5 total. Starting with Broncos, the last 5 times they played Penrith, they haven't covered that line. Even earlier in the year when they beat them round 1. Yeah, round 1.
13-12.
They only beat them, they only put 13 on. So, again, Penrith all year keep harping on about it. Their defense is rock solid. Only 3 times this year has a team scored more than 14.5 points. And yeah, they're like literally 15, 16 points. So I think that, especially with Reynolds out and then Penrith's cover the line, I think, again, Reynolds is the big factor here. You saw against Melbourne last week, like they were competitive, but Penrith are a much stronger unit than Melbourne at the moment.
Absolutely. I think the difference there is last week, even without Reynolds, we were making a lot of meters, pulling through tackles. We just couldn't finish a set clean, to be honest. So I don't see much of that happening. I rate both of your plays. That also protects you just in case Penrith drops 40 on us.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the total under 39.5. So I'm backing my boys not to concede 40 points pretty much because I like your pick. I'm just not a fucking idiot who's going to bet against my own team to go under. I'm backing the Broncos defense to have a go this week. I think we're ranked 3rd or 4th in the league in defense, which is pretty excellent. We're not even close to Penrith. We're probably like 6 points. We allow 1 extra try or something. You'll probably do the math for me. But when I checked last week, I think we were 3rd or 4th per game. And if we're sitting in the top 5, 6, I think defensively we can hang with the Panthers. Losing Reynolds doesn't weaken our defense in any way, shape, or form. If anything, we're probably going to be more dependent on it. They'll be knowing this week going into this game, defense is going to win them this game if they have any chance. And our forward pack is excellent. Our backs are very good too. I don't think we'll put points on, but I don't think we'll let in too many. I think they'll probably be in the low 30s. So I can see this game going to Penrith, maybe 18 and 20 to 8 or 10. I think we score 1, kick a penalty goal, something like that. Might even play it under 30s when it comes close to the game. But I'm taking total unders, you're taking Brisbane unders, and you're taking Penrith to cover that
Cover the line. Yep.
All right. Beautiful. We'll take it. And so I wait anxiously for this game. Like normally, right? Sometimes I hate when Brisbane play on Thursday because I love it that I get to see them on Thursday, but then I have to wait. It feels like I have to wait an age to see them again.
But it depends though. If like, this has happened to Penrith a couple times this year, they've lost on the Thursday, and it's like people forget about it by Friday after work. It's like, oh, the footy's on this weekend. Now have to hear about it. Kind of also doesn't like if, say, for example, either team gets flogged and say Penrith get flogged, then by Friday evening I'm like forgotten about it. Whereas if your team lose on a Saturday or something, it's like fuck, I lived it through Sunday. So
yeah, I think Look, I think whatever happens in this game, with the Rabbitohs on Friday night, will probably 13 plus the Eels. And then all the pressure will be on the Eels. That's all anyone's going to talk about.
Do you think they scheduled also this game because it's a Thursday night, knowing that the Origin teams get named? That the team with the most Origin players are coming from them too when they did the draw to give them the biggest break.
Yeah, possibly. Well, did they schedule Brisbane to verse the Warriors during the Origin period on purpose too? Because they're going to have full strength in New Zealand, and Brisbane's going to be depleted. Maybe the league is against us.
Maybe. And not against the Warriors, like everyone says.
Not at all. Well, that might be the level up.
So they did complain today, apparently, about the bye situation or something. I'm like, you're playing the Broncos during the Origin period. Like, you guys are doing cartwheels that you get that run.
The only player we have is Reynolds. He's going to be in a wheelchair anyway in that game.
Yeah,
so,
he can't feel his legs.
But we'll probably still win. Just saying. That's my 2 favorite teams going head to head. What a great week. Let's get into Friday night. So as always, well, not always, but usually Friday night, 6 p.m. It's booked in for some fucking shit clubs to go at it. And no 2 worse clubs than these 2 at the moment. We've got the St. George Illawarra Dragons versus Sydney Roosters. The Roosters are $1.45 favourites. Rabbitohs Dragons at $2.75. The line is 6.5. Totals of 41.5. New coach, meaning we get to see some new lineup. So who the fuck is a new coach for the Dragons now?
Some
Is that
assistant.
the assistant?
Yeah, some weirdo.
I heard his name and I was like, I don't even know who that is. But what's he done? He's bringing in Lomax. He's bringing Jacob Little to start at hooker. Who would have thought? You get an actual hooker to start at hooker, and he's dropped Mbai completely. So, and Mbai didn't do anything wrong last week. I thought he was pretty good.
Nature of the game.
And Jaden Sullivan's on the bench. So interesting to see what happens throughout the game. But for the Roosters, Manu, he's sprained his right ankle from what I remember.
Yep.
Luke Keary goes to 6, Hutchinson to 7. Jared's been named to play. Look, strong lineup from the Roosters, just can't put it together. The Dragons probably have 3 good players, and they can't put it together. So fair enough, the Roosters being 6.5-point favourites. I personally have no play on this game. I don't like either team. Neither team gives me confidence. So, yeah, I got nothing. What about you? What do you think happens in this one?
I've reluctantly gone the Dragons plus 6.5.
God.
Just
is that your Rooster hate, or what's the science?
Yeah,
the new coach theory. You got a new? Is it that?
Nah, that's a flawed theory. It's not as strong as people think. But
it used to be strong.
It used to be, but the last couple have been absolute dog shit.
Where's Mick Potter, by the way? Fuck, didn't he do really well last year when he took over?
I think he lost his first game and then won a few after that. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong, but the fact there's still Hutchinson's in the I know Walker's injured, but like they've gone to another non-half playing halves in that team just shows they've got no idea what they're doing. You can't tell me there's a reserve grader halfback or Jersey flag halfback who can't step up and play. I just think they're going to struggle to score points again, and I think this will be the test to see if one thing for Griffin teams is it happened at Penrith is he loses the change room and everything. So there is that theory that now that he's gone, they'll step up. They'll be a happier dressing room. He wasn't exactly a popular coach when he left Penrith, and I imagine the fact that Lomax and Little are straight back in probably shows that he probably wasn't best friends with them. So
yeah, and probably shows that the assistants were thinking, "You're a fucking madman. Why are we dropping these cunts?" But straight back in. No, look, I support the theory. I think it's a good one. I was Lindsay Collins had an interview, and I saw it today, and he was talking about how the Roosters system and their attack it's the same as it always was. The problem is they're just not connecting well.
Yeah,
just a lack of chemistry at the moment. So I don't know how you change that in a week, but good opportunity for them. But yeah, I don't know what that'll happen. So there's probably value just taking the underdog here. It could be a shit fight or it could be an upset. The Broncos game probably wouldn't result in an upset, but I think this game there's a good chance Dragons will pull it off. New coach, bit of excitement. Team's pretty much at full strength. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
And FYI, last year, Mick Potter's first game coaching lost 36-22 to the Tigers. His first game.
Right.
That's straight up. They did actually lose their second game against the Dragons. They scored 24. Everyone was half long as I was scoring points. They actually lost their first 3 under Potter.
There you go.
Yeah.
It took some time. All right. Your main event on Friday night at 8 p.m. It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus Parramatta Eels at Allianz Stadium. South $1.37 favourites. Parrot 3.10. The line is 8.5. Totals 43.5 points. For the Rabbitohs, not too many changes for them. And for the Eels, Mitchell Moses comes back. Sean Lane is gone. I think he's gone for a while. I think 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks or something. But the Cardi party's in, so don't worry, don't sweat it. Even with the addition of Moses, I think it's 8.5. I think the Rabbitohs chew it up. Looking at historically, which you'll probably do now, I think South have beat the Parramatta like 13 plus, 4 or 5 games in a row.
Can you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right. Yeah, at least that's at least the last 5, if not more.
Yeah. Is that a sports bet insight? Does it say the Rabbitohs have won 13 plus in 5 consecutive games against Parramatta?
I just went through the previous scores, but
like it should be.
Should be. If it doesn't say it.
Doesn't say it. So they're fucking crooks. They give you all these shit insights, but not the ones that actually matter.
You know where the best insights is using the app compared to the website.
Is it really?
The app can give you like literally games won at night, games against the line, games
Oh,
against the
yes.
team, and you can scale it by like 5 games, 10 games every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I have done that before. So, look, I'm taking South minus 8.5. They're fucking the cream of the crop at the moment. Parramatta, even though they get Moses back, their backline's not great. And their forwards aren't looking the best either. They've got a lot of toilers in there, but they've got no one that's going to make impact, really. Even Cardi Party, he's become a toiler. He's not an excitement machine. He doesn't throw many offloads and cutout passes. Like he's playing proper second row footy. But yeah, I think when Parramatta were at their best, they were offloading. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I think they're still in the top 3 or maybe first in the comp in offloads, but they're not offloading it the way that they used to. You know, we used to be like fullbacks running off the hip.
Yeah.
Those type. It's more like those. It's more of those Corey Parker type offloads where it's about to be called held and then they release it.
Yeah.
And they might make an extra 5 meters. It's not resulting in line breaks. So Parramatta aren't playing that type of footy. I give them an average mark across their roster from backs and forwards. And I think, yeah, Souths are just they're on a tear at the moment. So that's what I'm taking. What about you?
I've
Taking
gone
Souths
Eels.
as well?
No, gone Eels.
Oh, fuck. What have you seen? What do you know that I don't?
I just think this would be similar to that Penrith game they went into. Like nobody's again giving them a chance against a team that's in form. Back then it was Penrith. I think they'll just step up and they'll have one of those games where people go, "Oh, Para are a legit team again." Because I think they make the 8. Like I hate them. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate them, but I don't think they're a team coming 14th.
No.
And Mitch Moses is a definite improvement, adding him in. So
He is. Look, he'll be stiffer competition than Brooks, who they played last week. Didn't manage to put a point on for the Tigers, so could be a couple more on for Parramatta.
yeah, I think that like even that game there, you thought like Tigers competed, but they didn't give like a lot of other teams that much ball. They'll definitely cause some problems.
Yeah,
I just think at what point the Rabbits are due like a slip. Like they've been on this high now.
they are due a slip. But look, I said this at the top of the program, mate. It's Indigenous round, and no one steps up for Indigenous round like the Rabbitohs. That's just a feeling. There's no facts. You can probably fact check that if you want. Is Indigenous round 12 every year?
I'll figure that out for you now. 1 second.
Figure it out for me and let me know how South perform on Indigenous round. Cody Walker will score, Troll will score, AJ will score. Run the same multi every year for Indigenous round, and the boys get up.
It was round 12 last year. They beat the Tigers. Oh, Tigers are always featuring our stats 44-18.
There you go.
And
did AJ not score though? I feel like I got ruled by someone.
I feel like it was. Yeah, I'll double check it, but I feel like AJ didn't score in it.
Yeah,
but they scored. No, he did.
He did.
He scored 3.
Okay.
Cody Walker. Latrell didn't score. Cody scored 2.
Did Cody score 2?
Yeah, Cody scored 2. There's your.
Jeez.
Then if we go again, round 12, 2021, 38, they played Para, 38-20. Alex Johnson scored another hat trick. There's your bet, boys. AJ 3 or more. Lock it in.
What's he paying? It's like $7.
Gagai scored that day as well.
Of course.
But no Cody or Latrell. Cody was probably suspended with Latrell. If you get on AJ hat trick for 3 years in a row on Indigenous round, that's got to be someone's picked up on that one. Try score markets. Score 3. This is gonna be $11.50. $11.50.
And if you shop 365 Ned's tab, you might find
you'll get a better one. But like, I'm definitely jumping on that. I'm locked in. It hasn't convinced me. That's a stat itself.
Mate, if AJ gets a hat trick, do you really think Parramatta can cover this line? Are you kidding me?
Nah.
Is it too late for you to remove your bet?
Nah, it's locked in. They won 34-20 in 2020. Alex Johnston hat trick.
I'm telling you, he gets up for
32-24 is the Dragons. That's 3 years of 3 years of hat tricks. Do we dare to dream for 2019? It wasn't round 12, so I don't know when they had it. Or maybe they did. They just didn't have the scoreboard. They lost 26-14 to the Para back then. He didn't score. All right.
So what,
He didn't play.
He
didn't play. He didn't play
why
around
they
12. That's why he didn't. That's a stat. I can do shopping, boys. Those odds are going to... It's going to be $2 by kickoff, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm going to do tonight? You know how they do those posts on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, that's your viral.
Like I might make one. I might start making some Daft Previews source stats that we come up with and then get some content flowing that way. So, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I don't work tomorrow. All right. AJ for 3. I'm on South to cover. You're on Parramatta. Good luck. But I think
regret it.
Oh, it's going to be good. All right. Let's talk Slutty Saturday. So at 3 p.m, we've got the reborn Newcastle Knights versus the Cronulla Sharks. The Knights are $3.50 outsiders. Cronulla at $1.31. The line is 9.5 points. This is a Sharks home game, but they're playing at Coffs Harbour. It's not a points bet. This is an FYI. For the Sharks, Sifa Talakai, he's still out. Connor Tracy, he was excellent last week, I thought. I thought he was...
Yeah.
He'd be a great pickup by anyone and languishing in New South Wales Cup. Hamlin Ueli has been named, but apparently he's only just recovering from his broken hand, so most likely he won't play. So the Sharks probably looking a little bit thin in the middle there. And for Newcastle, same 17 that played last week. Jack Hetherington shifts from lock to prop with Leo Thompson. I don't know why you'd swap 2 players in the starting lineup. If you're going from prop to lock, how much does it really change? Like,
stand one person over, basically.
Yeah. Which all it takes is one. You get involved in one tackle, you're not going back to your spot. You just fill the line. So
sure.
Anyway, some more coaching brilliance there from Adam O'Brien. But look, the Knights have been resurgent after last week. They finally managed to score some points. Cronulla a bit underwhelming in a win, but the line for this game is bigger than the line for Manly. It's twice as big, which is crazy because right now I'd take the Knights to beat Manly. I find that very interesting. But what do you think happens in this game? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I've got... wait, we're talking Knights, Sharks?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.5 Knights. I'm on board. I'm just trying to figure out why I picked it, but then I realized why I picked it.
Tell us why.
I think, as you talk about, Sharks aren't quite where people... I think the Cowboys' performance was a bit proven against the Dolphins, and last week against Manly, they were very, how you going? So historically, they're not too bad against the Knights, but I think, I see Ponga there, a little bit of a resurgence. That we just even did at halftime with all the players sitting in circles. That was weird, but worked.
What did they do?
They all, at halftime, they go into the sheds and the players sit in groups of 4 or 5 in circles and around chairs. And as Adam Rose walks around, they just talk to each other like it's...
The hell? Are they in a bush duff or something, praying to a crystal?
I don't know.
Probably had some healing crystals there.
Definitely worked in the second half. So
I didn't see that because at halftime in that game, I started vacuuming the house and shit. So
yeah, good choice.
But I might have to pay closer attention this week. My bet for this one is also on the Knights, but I'm just taking the Knights to score over 17.5 points. Cronulla have been prone to leaking a lot and scoring a lot too. So, and I do think this game does go overs, but I do like leaning towards the Knights there. 17.5 points. It's not massive. Question: with Ponga back, was he kicking or is it still It's still Lockie Miller, right?
Miller, and he can't kick.
He's awful.
He's awful. He's
and fucking Dom Young and Marju score all their tries.
Correct.
He can't kick, and they're not easy.
Especially that first try Dom Young scored the other day.
So I'm pretty much playing for the Knights to score 4 tries. That's what they need. They need to score 4 tries in this game, and I think that could happen. So, how many times have the Cronulla Sharks allowed more than 18 points this season in 11 games?
We've got round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. And have they played 10 games or 11?
10. They didn't play round
10.
6.
Okay. So 70% of the time, they allow this to happen.
Yeah.
And I know the Knights have probably only scored that many points 50% of the time, but Pong Gina is back, baby.
The only times they haven't is the Dragons, who were shit, the Cowboys were shit, and Manly were shit. So,
Right. That's true. Okay. All right. I like that. Might not make a picture for it, but yeah, I'm taking the Knights over 17.5 points. You got the Knights to cover. So let's see how we go. Second game on your Saturday. Well, I'm not really looking forward to this one. Don't like either team, to be honest. They don't entertain me whatsoever, but if we've got some skin in the game, I'm sure it'll be fun. At Leichhardt Oval, West Tigers versus North Queensland Cowboys. Cowboys $1.60 favourites. Tigers at $2.35. The line is 4.5. Total points is at 42.5. The Tigers haven't made any changes to the team that scored 0 points last week, and the Cowboys are going to be missing Jermaine Tanua-Brown. Riley Price will be taking his spot. I think Taumalolo returns next week or the week after. So interesting to see how he is when he comes back. But what are your thoughts on this one? Your Cowboys fucking unloaded 40-odd points last week up against a Tigers team who only led in 20 last week. What do you think happens? Because I personally have no fucking idea, so I'm not touching this.
I've gone Tigers to cover the line.
What's the sweet sign? Tell me why.
Oh, I still don't think the Cowboys are that fucking good. I just think they've played shit teams the last couple of weeks. They still conceded 22 against the Dragons. And to be fair, if Dragons could hold the ball, could have put on more. And I think Tigers are. I think you look at them in their basket league; they're competitive now. Like they're in the game, and up until literally 60 minutes in, it was only 6-0. So they can go toe to toe with South. I think they can go toe to toe with the Cowboys. And last time these two teams played, it was 27-26. So I expect them to keep it close.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you, because I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. But I just like to see a Tigers upset. I think that'd be nice. I think that'd be fun. But what if there's? I don't even have fantasy players from either team. It's going to be a tough watch, this one. I might just pick the overs and pray for points. That's always fun. But yeah, look, not too much I can say on this game. You got anything else you want to add? No? Well, this next fucking game is going to be a ripper. It's the Dolphins versus Storm at Suncorp, 7:35 p.m. on Saturday. My Saturday evening is clear, so I'll be able to watch this one. Odds-wise, we've got Melbourne at $1.45. Dolphins at $2.75. The line 6.5. Totals 46.5. Lineup changes for the Dolphins. Jesse Bromwich and Brenko Lee looks like they're back in. And for the Storm, Nelson's been named despite getting a little bruise on his ribs last week. Fucking hip drop coward. Anyway, before I start getting flashbacks, the Dolphins, plenty of players from the Melbourne system have added quite a bit to this Dolphins team. I did say it earlier that I think the Storm still aren't at their best, and I think they're overpriced for this. Overpriced? Either way, what I'm trying to say is that the Dolphins are value. So that's where I'm leaning. Personally, though, I'm taking Dolphins over 16.5 points, even though I think they cover the line. I don't think it's a low-scoring one. The weather in Brisbane is sunny all week. Like, all week. It's going to be pitch perfect. Whereas I think in Sydney, we get a couple of days of rain, and then it's sunny throughout the weekend. But in Brisbane, it's sunny all throughout. So that pitch is going to be drier than my elbows. So I'm taking the Dolphins to score some points here. Jesse Bromwich to get up. But what are your thoughts on this one? Dolphins versus Storm,
Dolphins. Dolphins by 6.5.
You're not fucking around.
Not fucking. And then another like crazy stat what I just seen, but I didn't take into consideration. Storm have actually lost 4 of their last 5 at Suncorp. Remember the Suncorp's their second home. They've actually lost 4 of their last 5 games there. So yeah, taking I think just Wayne Bennett a week and a half extra to prepare for this game. He's going to be dialed in. They're going to be fresh. That center got dropped, which is a shame because he was quite entertaining to watch.
Lance Barre. Yeah. I heard that he'd be dropped because Brenko Lee's back, but I was like, damn, he's an excitement machine. But
he is.
Look, Branko, he was from the Storm too once upon a time. So, how many ex-Storm players have they got? Branko, Bromwich, Felice. That's about it.
I think that's about it.
It's not that many. It's 4.
Yeah, it wasn't that many.
Yeah, it's only 4. But look, Jeremy Marshall King.
Mark Nichols can't even get on that starting 17. That shows I've actually got some actual depth.
Yeah. Jared Wallace is actually playing all right, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Milford on the interchange would be. He didn't play. Oh, they had a bye last week, actually.
Got the bye, yeah. Their last game was flogging Sharks at Magic Round. So, again, they don't mind Suncorp.
So that's interesting. I think when Milford comes on, what that would mean, Cody will probably go to 9.
Yeah.
For Jeremy Marshall King, because Milford wouldn't play in the 9. But, yeah, very interesting. But we're both living and breathing the Dolphins at home as well. So the Dolphins at home I think they've only lost 2 games at home. It was against Brisbane and Souths. But I thought they competed quite well in those games. They're just a surprise packet of the league, and they're just, disrespected, to be honest. 6.5 points against Melbourne. Get out of here. It's not kind at all. Do you have any stats on this one? Any horny insight apart from the Storm losing 4 of the last 5 at Suncorp?
Nothing too toey. I think the Storm leaking points is starting to come out. They leaked even against you guys with basically no halfback. They leaked 16 points, 28 against the Rabbitohs, 22 against the Warriors, 18 against Manly. Not as what they could say Bellamy-esque teams defensively. They're not very sound. So, and I know he's re-signed for another year. Fuck, he's John Farnham, that bloke. Like
I was going to say, do you think his re-signing does anything to the team? Is it?
No, he's done it the last 5 years in a row now. It's the old blow dryer treatment, mate. You can only do it a couple of times. You can't keep stalling on committed for another year because say this time next year with the same questions again. So
yeah, maybe he's holding out for Billy.
Yeah, potentially.
We'll see. We shall see. But all right, that game's going to be cracking. That's a great one. Whoever set the drawer up, that's a great game. That's how you want to finish your night. Anyway, let's get into your seedy Sunday. The Canterbury Bulldogs versus the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans are $1.77 favourites. The Dogs are $2.05. The line's 1.5. Totals 46.5 points. This is at Homebush though. So interesting to see the Titans favourites not playing in the Gold Coast. Big changes to the Dogs. They've actually got Oluwapu starting at 6 this week, which, it's pretty interesting to see because I think he's really good. I think he's going to be fucking excellent. The more I see him play, the bit more gutted I get. Bit young and dumb, but, best to get that out of your system now. And the Fox, he's back. So I was keen to see him have a blinder and then not get picked for Origin again. And for the Titans, we've got Aaron Clark. He's back. I actually haven't said his name that many times this year, so other Titans players must be playing good. What are your thoughts on this game? Firstly, are the odds right? Should the Titans be favourites here? I know the Dogs have probably lost 17 games in a row, but
I do have them covering the line. Titans.
You got the Titans minus 1.5.
Yeah, I think.
Tell me why.
What they have lost quite a fair bit in a row. The Dogs' only wins are against the Dragons, the Cowboys, the Tigers, and then that upset win against Melbourne round 2. Yeah, I don't rate them at all. I think the way they're tracking for me, they're probably going to be the biggest disappointment this year.
That's true. A lot of when we did our initial where teams finish, where did you have the Dogs? I think I had them between 8 and 10.
I had them 10 or 11. I didn't have them making the 8, but challenge improving.
Yeah,
was my big piece. For those of you who do recall that, I did have Souths and Penrith as my top 2, just so you know. Calling it early, and I didn't have Cowboys in my 8, which so far so good. But I know they've had injuries, but they're just still, for me, that team should be doing better. They're literally 15th on the ladder.
Yeah. They just do a lot of dumb shit. Do
you think Burton's a half?
No, he's a 6. He's out 6. So him playing 7 makes They're filling a spot that it's a gap within the team that they don't have a 7. So you move your best center, who's already playing 6, you move him to 7.
Yeah.
Now your best center and 6 is playing out of position at 7. I think their team's all right. They just play like idiots. Like Reed Marnie, he kicks 40-20s, but he also fucks up a lot. Tavita Pangai Jr., he offloads it like almost every single time. Like he's guaranteed to offload it to the other team every single week. I think Avarillo has some flashes. Carraz, since he came back from injury, he's not making meters anymore. Hayes Perham is average at everything at fullback. He's not shit, but he's really like average. He's like an aging Darius Boyd. Like it's just he's all right. Like that's all he is. And then not too much happening there. Reynolds comes on and all I'll say is he impacts the game to some extent. It could be it could be good or it could be a fucking nightmare. You'd be standing next to him and think, why is this guy still playing? But he finds his way. They've got Ockenbaugh on the bench. He's playing a forward role this year, which I don't know what's going on there. They got Sam Hughes. I don't know who that is. They got Fatala Mariner on the bench, and they're starting Harrison Edwards at 13. Like,
is he captain? Wasn't Fatala Mariner named captain at the start of the year?
Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know who the captain is.
It says Burton now, but I was uncertain.
Wasn't it Burton and Martin?
Yeah, was he club captain or something? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they just got some strange things happening within that team. Whereas the Titans look, they shit the bed last week, but they're still a much better Titans team that we've seen in the last 5 years. They're starting to get decent. So Kieran Foran, Tanner Boyd in the halves, Jaden Campbell's excellent. You couldn't even tell that Brimo was out. So question marks on Brimo. I don't know. I don't rate him highly, so I don't think he's a big out. Their backs are good. Their forwards are good. I think a lot of it comes down to whether Tanner Boyd plays good or not, because he kicks the ball out in the full all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Like he just shanks kicks every now and then. It's strange, but I think he's a deciding factor in this game. Tanner Boyd. So you like the Titans to cover?
Yep.
Okay. I've got nothing on this play. Titans on the road scares me. Even though it's against the Dogs, Titans are still on the road. So I've chosen not to touch it. And the total points line, 46.5. It's tied with the Sharks-Knights game. It's the highest one of the round. So the bookies are expecting some points here. I was thinking even just taking the Titans over, but once again, on the road, even though it happened last week, their line was like 21.5. Scored 26 points and lost by 20. So taking the over on the Titans is where I was leaning, but I was like, nah, I need something more solid in my life, and it wasn't that. But it might be in this game. Last game, Sunday at 4:05, GIO Stadium in Canberra. It's the Canberra Raiders hosting the Manly Sea Eagles. Canberra's $1.55. The line's 4.5. Totals are 44.5. For the Raiders, they lose Zach Wolford, but Danny Levi comes back from injury. And for the Sea Eagles, Gerbo, he's named to make a return. Schuster is also back. But Josh Alloway and Kelma Tuolungi, they're both going to have some time on the sidelines. So Burbo moves into the starting side. So they've got 3 Travojeviches all starting. And Aaron Woods, who's been their best forward off the bench for the last couple of weeks now, is not named. He hurt his thumb. He'll be on Triple M, though, so you'll sort of get to hear and see him. Thoughts on this Raiders and Eagles game? Because the Raiders have been doing very well, and the Manly Sea Eagles not so much.
Unders.
You reckon
this is my unders bet for the week. Yeah.
Tell me why.
Manly last 5 games have gone under, and I just think at home, Raiders will score points, but I just don't think Manly are going to score. They're like Tom Turbo. I reckon this is going to be make or break. If he wants to make Origin, he's going to have a crack, and if he stretches out, he'll bust his hammy probably because he's holding on to something.
This is a game where he would get injured.
Yeah, cold. Probably would be on like 2 tries already and then bust it and they'd be like, oh, he was just getting back.
Yeah.
Between them two teams, 4 of the last 5 have gone under. I know the last one did go over. That was a 48-6 drubbing by the Raiders. From memory, Manly were absolutely broken by then. I think this was the prior Jersey Gate part of their season. But every other game under that, even when Manly were flying, they went unders. So I'm taking the unders.
Taking the unders. I've got Canberra over 23.5 points in this game. So taking the overs. I was going to take their line, but the Raiders, throughout this win streak, have somehow letting teams back into it. The line's 4.5 here. They beat the Para by 8. They only beat the Dogs by 4. They only beat the Dolphins by 1. They only beat the Dragons by 6. They did beat the Broncos by 6, which was an upset of its own, but they looked dominant throughout games, but still managed to let teams back into it. So that's what I worry about when looking at the line. But total points-wise, 23.5 for Canberra. Scored 26 on Para, 34 on the Dogs, 30 on the Dolphins. So they've covered that line in 3 straight games. We should have a dry track in Canberra against the Eagles team who's not lighting it up defensively. I wouldn't even say they kept Cronulla to 20 last week because Cronulla just didn't show anything. It's as if they thought it was in the bag and they were just chilling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how it felt to me, but I thought they could have scored a lot more points, the Sharks. But prior to that, 32 from Brisbane, 26 on the Gold Coast, and the weather was shit. And they let the Gold Coast drop 26 on them. So, back in Canberra to score some points. Jackie Whiten to eat them up. Tomoko has been excellent. Sebastian Chris still keeping young Savage out of the lineup. So, yeah, I'm looking for Canberra to pile the points on here. That's me. Did you manage to get all your bets out throughout this, Potty? All 9?
I did. No, I did.
You
All
did?
9 are out there, yeah.
Fucking stunning, mate.
10 is Johnston hat-trick. That is like the absolute lock of the week.
Well, do you want to do we didn't do it last week because I forgot about it, but I'm fresh in the mind.
Yep.
Do you want to get the 50s out and get the best bet rolling over the next 4 weeks again?
Yeah, let's try that again because you fucked up the first one.
The Sharks fucked up the first one by getting pummeled by the Dolphins. So
even just Johnson to score a try just to be safe, surely it's like $1.80.
$1.60. Surely.
Fuck yeah, it is. You're right. $1.59. That sucks.
God.
I was gonna say it was like $2 extra.
What if you do John? Do you think South will win?
I'm not sure. That's my worry. Well, if he scores, I think there's a good chance. But I will take.
We could do the double: South to win, Johnson to score.
How much is that paying?
Oh, I don't know. Probably $1.80, $1.90.
Yeah, but we want $2.90 bets, so we have to pick again. I'll go. Oh, do I go early? Yeah, let's go early. I'll go Penrith -8.5.
Fuck off. Why would you do that?
Because I think they'll win. There's a revenge factor here. This is round 1 revenge they're going to be looking at.
Yeah, they might just want to win by 1 as a revenge bet, you know? I'll take the Dolphins over 16.5 points against Melbourne.
Points. Dolphins over 16. First half, did you say? Or no total?
No, it's over 16.5 points. That's their total points line.
Gives us, $4 odds. All right, done.
All right, so how much do we win? 200?
Just under 200, yeah, 197.
And then we'll roll that again.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get close to 800. Okay. All right. We've got the recipe. Now we just need to make sure we make the right picks.
Yeah.
So, keep this in mind, Luke. We pick winners every single week. There's not been a week where we haven't picked someone to win.
No, we haven't. No, and when I'm throwing out 9, 10 tips, I've got to get one. Surely.
We're not that bad, but look, the sweep has not yet occurred in a very difficult year of tipping rugby league. It's also the most entertaining rugby league we've seen because of that factor. But I think we do this every week. We'll put out our best bets from what we can see, and then from our top tier ones, we'll bundle together and see how far we can roll this motherfucker on, because I need some more excitement in my life. So let's make this shit happen, shall we?
Sounds good.
Do not message me after the Penrith Broncos game, because I'll be very upset. Yeah, don't do that, because I'll be thinking about it all day until this Friday at 6 p.m. when I've got to watch the shit Roosters Dragons game, whatever it is, whoever's playing. So, yeah, don't do that. But, all right, let's get on AJ. I'm going to make up some graphics tonight in between my Call of Duty games. If you do find any more insights, let me know. See if we can get this happening every single week. But thanks you all for getting horny up in the chat. I see yous. Quite a few viewers tonight, which is good to see. We might have to bring Lockie on every night. If he's going to double our fan base, we might have to bring him on. So
imagine with a mic.
Imagine if Lockie had a mic. So
imagine.
I think, who am I versus? We'll have a quick look at fantasy here. If either of us are versing a fantasy viewer,
You're Jack Shannon. Oh, that is
Jack Shannon.
And I've got Axel.
Oh, you got one of the big dogs.
Yep. Got a good team as well. Fucking hell.
You might pop 1,000 this week and still lose.
Yeah, I will. It's all right.
Have you made any trades already this week?
No, I haven't, but he might have to himself as well.
Who's got the buy?
Warriors.
Fuck. Might have to move SJ on. Oh, it's the Irish Aussie. Jack Shannon, young Irish. If you get within 50 points of my score this week, you're coming on next week. Next week, you're on. He's got a cute voice too. I imagine. Oh yeah, sweet Shawnee Johnson. Gonna have to replace him. Looks like I'm gonna have to pick up Nathan Cleary and watch him demolish my Broncos in order for me to win fantasy this week.
That's spirit.
But bloody this Irish fucker's got Cleary and Hines as well, so I guess it just balances it out there. So we shall see. But anyway, lads, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like so we get a little bit more views, but we'll catch you next week. And keep an eye on Facebook and Instagram just so you can see these new visuals that I'm going to start working on. Luke, been a pleasure. I'll speak to you next week, bruv.
See ya.
Ciao.